What if the story of creation didn't begin in Genesis? Long before, in the beginning, ancient texts like the Book of Enoch revealed a cosmic tale lost to time. In this video we uncover a forgotten mythology, a creation story filled with celestial realms, angelic beings, and divine mysteries that predate the Bible's opening verse. Was there a war in heaven before earth was formed? Did Enoch witness the birth of existence itself? Join us as we explore before Genesis, the true creation story in Enoch's mythology, and unlock secrets hidden for thousands of years. The beginning might not be the beginning. Background: the Book of Enoch, explained. The Book of Enoch is one of the most intriguing and controversial ancient religious texts outside the canonical Bible. Revered in some traditions and rejected in others, it offers a complex blend of apocalyptic prophecy, angelology, cosmology, and moral teachings. This ancient Jewish work, traditionally attributed to Enoch, the great-grandfather of Noah, expands on the cryptic biblical verses about the sons of God, the Nephilim, and the mysteries of heaven. Although it is not included in the Jewish Tanakh or most Christian Bibles, the Book of Enoch played a crucial role in shaping early Jewish and Christian thought. This essay will explore the background, content, structure, authorship, and theological significance of the Book of Enoch, unpacking why this once venerated text was revered, banned, and later rediscovered. 1. Who was Enoch? Enoch is a mysterious biblical figure mentioned in Genesis 5 verses 21 to 24. The Bible states that he lived 365 years, walked with God, and then was no more because God took him. Unlike most patriarchs, Enoch did not die but was taken up, an act interpreted as a kind of divine ascension. This short but potent mention sparked the imagination of ancient writers. Who was this man who pleased God so much that he bypassed death? The Book of Enoch sets out to answer that question by filling in the gaps, portraying Enoch as a visionary who was shown the secrets of heaven, the future of humanity, and the fate of fallen angels. 2. Origins and composition. The Book of Enoch is not a single work but a composite text written over several centuries, primarily between the 3rd century BCE and the 1st century CE. Its original language was almost certainly Guizi Ethiopic, though scholars believe it was translated from earlier Aramaic or Hebrew sources. The book is divided into 5 major sections. The Book of the Watchers, chapters 1 to 36. The Book of Parables or Similitudes, chapters 37 to 71. The Astronomical Book, chapters 72 to 82. The Book of Dream Visions, chapters 83 to 90. The Epistle of Enoch, chapters 91 to 108. These segments differ in theme and tone, indicating multiple authors or redactors over time. Together, they form a rich tapestry of apocalyptic thought, providing a glimpse into the spiritual and political anxieties of Second Temple Judaism. 3. The Book of the Watchers, chapters 1 to 36. This is perhaps the most famous section and the one most frequently cited in relation to angelology and demonology. It tells the story of 200 angels, known as the Watchers, who descended to earth on Mount Hermon and took human wives. Their union produced the Nephilim, giants who corrupted the earth. God sends the archangels, Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, and Uriel, to stop them. The Watchers are bound and cast into Tartarus, and the flood is sent to cleanse the earth. This section expands Genesis 6 verses 1 to 4, where the sons of God marry the daughters of men. The narrative is filled with supernatural themes: forbidden knowledge, hybrid creatures, cosmic rebellion, and divine punishment. Key themes: origins of evil and violence, divine justice, the fall of angels, cosmic warfare. 4. The Book of Parables, chapters 37 to 71. Also known as the Similitudes, this section is highly messianic and introduces a mysterious figure called the Son of Man, an eschatological deliverer who sits on the throne of glory, judges the wicked, and brings final justice. The Son of Man title echoes later Christian theology, particularly the way Jesus refers to himself in the Gospels. For this reason, scholars have debated whether this portion was written before or after the rise of Christianity. It presents a heavenly court, the judgment of kings and sinners, resurrection of the righteous, the elect one, or righteous one themes. Because of its clear messianic tone, the Book of Parables had a profound influence on early Christian eschatology. 5. The Astronomical Book, chapters 72 to 82. This section offers a detailed description of the sun, moon, stars, and the calendar. Enoch is guided by an angel named Uriel, who reveals the heavenly secrets of the cosmos. The calendar described is solar, consisting of 364 days, which differs from the lunar calendar followed by other Jewish groups. This distinction reflects tensions within Jewish sects, especially between the priestly Sadducees and groups like the Essenes, who may have used a solar calendar. The astronomical book aims to establish divine order in the cosmos, condemn those who distort timekeeping, priests who use the wrong calendar, reinforce the link between divine knowledge and Enoch. 6. The Book of Dream Visions, chapters 83 to 90. Also known as the Animal Apocalypse, this section presents two symbolic dreams. The most notable is an allegorical retelling of human history using animals to represent nations and people. For example, sheep equals Israel, wolves equals Gentile oppressors, eagles equals Rome. This dream traces biblical history from Adam to the Maccabean revolt and anticipates the coming of a new, purified temple and age. This section reflects Jewish nationalism, anti-imperial sentiment, hope for divine intervention, a coded historical narrative for oppressed Jews. 7. The Epistle of Enoch, chapters 91 to 108. The final section of 1 Enoch is a collection of exhortations, apocalyptic warnings, and moral teachings. It speaks of the 10 weeks, a symbolic timeline from the dawn of time to the final judgment. Each week represents an era in human and spiritual history. The 10th week ends with the new heaven and new earth, a theme later echoed in Revelation. This section also contains woes to sinners, rewards for the righteous, the fate of souls after death, eternal punishment for the wicked. It is a call to live righteously in anticipation of the final age. 8. Authorship and community context. While attributed to Enoch, the Book of Enoch was written by multiple unknown authors, likely from apocalyptic Jewish communities during the Second Temple period c. 200 BCE, 100 CE. These communities, such as the Essenes at Qumran, emphasized the corruption of the temple priesthood, the end of the current age, divine revelation through dreams and visions, a dualistic battle between light and darkness. The Book of Enoch was found among the Dead Sea Scrolls, confirming its use and reverence among sectarian Jewish groups before and during Jesus' lifetime. 9. Reception and canonical status. Jewish tradition. The Book of Enoch was influential in certain Jewish circles, but it was not included in the Tanakh. Likely due to its radical angelology, apocalyptic tone, and extra-biblical claims, it was rejected by Rabbinic Judaism. Christian tradition. Early Christians, especially church fathers like Tertullian, Athenagoras, and Justin Martyr, quoted the Book of Enoch positively. The Epistle of Jude 14-15 even directly quotes 1 Enoch 1:9, showing that at least some early Christians considered it authoritative. However, by the 4th century CE, as Christian orthodoxy solidified, the book was rejected from the canon in most traditions, primarily due to its association with Gnostics and heretical sects, its bold angelology seen as too speculative or pagan, questions of authorship and historical accuracy. Ethiopian Church. The one major exception is the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church, which preserves the Book of Enoch as canonical scripture. Thanks to them, the full Guizi version survived when the book was otherwise lost in the West for over 1,000 years. 10. Rediscovery and modern interest. In 1773, the Scottish explorer James Bruce brought copies of the Guizi Book of Enoch back to Europe, sparking scholarly interest. Later, the discovery of Aramaic fragments at Qumran in the 1940s confirmed its Jewish origin and antiquity. Today, the Book of Enoch is studied widely by scholars of ancient Judaism and Christianity, students of apocalyptic literature, theologians interested in early messianism, popular writers and conspiracy theorists exploring angels, Nephilim, and forbidden knowledge. 11. Influence on theology and culture. The Book of Enoch shaped many doctrines and themes that appeared later in Christianity and other apocalyptic literature. The concept of fallen angels, resurrection of the dead, heavenly judgment, the Messiah as a pre-existent divine figure, the cosmic battle between good and evil. Its imaginative storytelling and rich symbology have also inspired novels, movies, and conspiracy theories, particularly those involving ancient aliens, secret knowledge, and angelic lore. The Book of Enoch is a profound and complex work that bridges the worlds of ancient Judaism and early Christianity. Though excluded from most biblical canons, it sheds essential light on how ancient believers viewed the divine, the fallen, and the destiny of humanity. Its tales of Watchers and Nephilim, heavenly journeys, and eschatological visions continue to provoke awe and debate. Whether one sees it as sacred scripture, historical curiosity, or mythological epic, the Book of Enoch remains one of the most compelling voices from the ancient world, revealing a time when heaven and earth were believed to be just a vision apart. The cosmic framework before Genesis. The Book of Genesis begins with the iconic phrase, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." Yet ancient traditions, Jewish, Christian, and even earlier Mesopotamian and mystical sources hint at a pre-Genesis reality, a timeless, primordial realm in which the foundations of existence were forged before the material cosmos emerged. This unseen, often mystical framework is not just abstract theology or speculation. It was the mental scaffolding through which ancient cultures understood divine order, spiritual hierarchies, and the purpose of creation. In Jewish mysticism, Kabbalah, apocryphal texts like the Book of Enoch, and even early Christian thought, there are detailed visions of what existed before time. Divine light, emanations, spiritual realms, cosmic blueprints, and angelic architects. Let's journey into this cosmic framework before Genesis, where the infinite intersects with the temporal, and where myth, theology, and mysticism intertwine. 1. The primordial state, beyond time and matter. Before Genesis 1 verse 1, there was no beginning in the human sense. Time, space, and matter were yet to be created. Instead, ancient mystics described a formless, infinite source, in Hebrew tradition Ein Sof, without end. This source is pure being, limitless, eternal, unmanifested. In Kabbalistic cosmology, Ein Sof existed in perfect unity, devoid of duality, motion, or division. It was neither light nor dark, neither good nor evil. It simply was. This idea resembles other ancient concepts. In Egyptian cosmology, Nun, the formless waters of chaos. In Greek philosophy, the Apeiron, the boundless, from which all things emerge. In Hindu thought, Brahman, the eternal reality behind all manifestations. These traditions suggest that creation is not ex nihilo, from nothing, but rather a constriction, a focusing of divine essence into structured form. 2. The first motion, the act of divine contraction, Tzimtzum. Kabbalists describe the first divine act not as expansion but withdrawal, a concept called Tzimtzum. To create space for the universe, God contracted his infinite presence, forming a kind of vacuum in which creation could occur. This idea challenges typical notions of creation as addition. Instead, it frames divine self-limitation as the precondition for the finite world. In this empty space, God introduced a ray of light, the Or Ein Sof, into a void, initiating the unfolding of reality. This contraction symbolizes the hiddenness of God. Creation requires divine concealment. Free will and autonomy. Beings can exist only if not overwhelmed by God's total presence. Mystical paradox. God is simultaneously immanent within creation and transcendent beyond it. 3. The 10 Sphirot, the blueprint of existence. From that initial divine light flowed 10 emanations, known in Jewish mysticism as the Sphirot. These are not gods or angels, but aspects or attributes of the divine, a metaphysical architecture bridging the infinite and the finite. The 10 Sphirot are Keter crown, pure will and divine intent; Chakma, wisdom, the spark of inspiration, a flash of intuitive truth; Bina, understanding; analytical thought giving form to Chakma. Chisid, kindness, unbounded love and generosity. Gevura, severity, judgment, discipline, limitation. Tiferet, beauty, harmony and balance between Chisid and Gevura. Netzach, victory, endurance and ambition. Hod, glory, surrender, humility and resonance. Yesod, foundation, connection, transmission, generativity. Makhut, kingdom, receptivity, the vessel for divine manifestation. These are not sequential events but interconnected energies, the DNA of all that exists. They represent both divine principles and psychological states within humans, echoing the idea that humanity is made in the image of God. Genesis 1 verse 27. 4. The shattering of the vessels, Shevret HaKalim. As the divine light poured into the vessels of the Sphirot, some vessels could not contain the intensity, they shattered. This event, the Shevret HaKalim, led to the scattering of divine sparks, the origin of imperfection and fragmentation in the cosmos, the birth of chaos and evil, not as a rival to God but as a byproduct of misaligned energies. This myth parallels the fall in Genesis, but it happens before Adam and Eve. It suggests a cosmic fracture embedded into the structure of existence. The task of humanity in this view is tikkun, the restoration or repair of these scattered sparks through moral action, prayer, and spiritual refinement. 5. Angelic realms and divine hierarchies. Before humans, the angelic hosts were created. These beings are not chubby cherubs, but spiritual intelligences, each tied to specific Sphirot, cosmic functions or realms. Ancient Jewish writings, especially the Book of Enoch, speak of the Watchers, Gregory angels who descended to earth, leading to the birth of the Nephilim. Archangels like Michael, Gabriel, Uriel and Raphael, each with distinct cosmic duties. The heavenly court, echoing royal hierarchies. In these myths, angels often serve as intermediaries, messengers, guardians of realms, or forces that uphold divine law. Yet, they too were subject to rebellion, fall, and judgment, hinting that cosmic drama preceded human history. 6. The waters above and below, dimensional divides. Genesis 1 verse 6 refers to the waters above and the waters below, a cryptic phrase that points to ancient cosmologies. In mystical thought, this may symbolize higher spiritual realms versus material planes, the division between supernal knowledge and earthly experience, the primordial split between heaven and earth, not physical locations but states of consciousness. In this framework, creation is layered, like a staircase or ladder, as seen in Jacob's dream in Genesis 28. This cosmic ladder bridges the divine realm, Atzilut, pure God consciousness, the creative realm, Bariah, archetypes, angelic forms, the formative realm, Yetzirah, emotions, energies, the physical realm, Asaya, material world. Thus, before Genesis includes not just a prehistory but a multi-dimensional map of reality. 7. The Logos and the Word, parallel Christian mysticism. In the Gospel of John we read, "In the beginning was the Word, Logos, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." This Word is not mere speech but divine reason, order, and will, a concept drawn from Greek philosophy and Jewish mysticism. The Logos is the blueprint of creation, similar to the Sphirot or the divine name in Hebrew lore. Philo of Alexandria, a first-century Jewish philosopher, called the Logos the firstborn of God, a bridge between the ineffable source and the material world. In Christian theology, the Logos became incarnate in Christ, echoing the mystical idea that the divine blueprint must enter creation to repair it from within. 8. Creation as sacred architecture. Genesis 1 is structured like a cosmic temple text. Days are like chambers, divine speech is the tool of construction, and the Sabbath is the final crown. But before this unfolding begins, ancient texts imagine a blueprint, called in some sources the heavenly Torah or heavenly Jerusalem. In these visions, creation is not accidental but follows divine architecture. The cosmos reflects an inner spiritual order. Human beings, made in God's image, are microcosms of the divine structure. This explains why ancient mystics believed that knowledge of the cosmos could lead to knowledge of God. 9. Time before time, the pre-Adamic era. Some early Jewish and Christian mystics, as well as Gnostic writers, spoke of worlds before our own, not in a science fiction sense, but as spiritual epics or failed creations. In the Zohar, multiple worlds were created and destroyed before ours. The Book of Jubilees and 2 Enoch speak of pre-Adamic beings. Gnostics saw the material world as the lowest emanation, created by a lesser god, the demiurge, in ignorance of the true source. These ideas reflect the view that history is cyclical, and that Genesis 1 is not the beginning of existence, but rather the latest chapter in an eternal divine unfolding. 10. The purpose of the cosmic framework. Why does all this matter? What does exploring before Genesis teach us? Creation is intentional, not random or chaotic, but guided by wisdom. Reality is layered, spiritual truth is hidden beneath appearances. Humanity is sacred. We reflect divine attributes and are called to heal the cosmos. Evil has a story. It is not eternal or ultimate, but a result of disharmony and broken vessels. Mystery invites humility. We are participants in a drama far larger than ourselves. Understanding the cosmic framework shifts Genesis from a simple origin story to a sacred revelation about who we are, where we come from, and what role we play in the unfolding of divine purpose. Reawakening the primordial memory. Before Genesis is not just a time, it's a state of consciousness. It is the moment before the world had form, before light and dark, good and evil, before language gave names to experience. To explore this realm is to touch the edge of divine mystery, to stand in awe of a universe that is both intimate and infinite. In a world obsessed with beginnings and ends, perhaps the greatest wisdom lies before the beginning, where silence, light, and divine intent await rediscovery. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the ancient mysteries that existed before Genesis. The Book of Enoch offers a glimpse into a forgotten creation narrative, one that challenges what we think we know about the origins of the universe. If you found this exploration eye-opening, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more deep dives into lost scriptures and hidden mythologies. What do you believe came before the beginning? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your take. Until next time, keep questioning, keep seeking, and remember, the oldest truths are often the most hidden.